Hello there everybody, it's Subbanai2 aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Irae Amantes Amentes. So yeah, this is a thing. You know what? Fuck it. I'm sticking with the cringy titles. I'm gonna have fun with the damn save files, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, looks like we are getting, well, this seems like we are getting pretty damn close to the end, and I'm guessing, okay, prediction. We're gonna get cockblocked again with the battle of Wilhelm versus Shiro. Because that seems like this is going to be the thing. This is going to be like the penultimate battle at the moment for this particular route of Shiro versus Wilhelm. And I actually really want to see how this time it really... I want to see how this goes. Also, last episode, Kasumi and Rhea... Oh, I've been mispronouncing her name. It's Rhea, not Ray. My deepest apologies on that. I don't know why I suddenly switched, because I'm pretty sure I was pronouncing it Rhea before. Actually, no, I think I was just calling her Himuro the entire time. Anyway, last episode, they're now in the church, and we gotta go save them. But first things first, I want to see how this conversation is gonna, or I'm sorry, this confrontation is going to go. Wilhelm, the first of the psychos I had the bad luck of meeting, was waiting for us, seemingly prepared for an all-out war.
たまには祈ってみるもんだな。ここ一番で狙い通りってのは俺の人生的に珍しい。つうわけでよ、ケチがつかねえうちに始めようや。わかってるよな。
No, I totally get it. Don't worry about it, buddy. His eyes were locked on Shiro, brimming with pure killing intent. He wasn't looking at anything else. Buddy, I've been cock-blocked like twice now. I really want to fight you, man. You know that?
行けよ、レン。好都合じゃねえか。同じ展開だぜ。あの時とよ。
そうだな。It seemed our foes had also assumed the battle would go this way. Me versus Sakurai, Shiro versus Wilhelm. It was still the same setup from that time we fled from Reinhardt.
行けよ。てめえの相手も後でしてやる。
Well, thank you very much, good sir.
レオンが俺の邪魔なんぞしねえように相手しててやんな。
Sure thing. Bye, you Nazi scumbag.
レン。
行け。
ほら。
Urged on by the two, and with Honjo pushing my back, I nodded.
わかった。
Have fun, you two! I jumped over Wilhelm in one swift leap, and rushed right into the church. I didn't want this to be our final farewell, nor did I have any intention of letting it be. But I had to think about my own survival first. I wasn't good at dealing with Sakurai, and any dumb doubts or hesitations would prove fatal for me now. I couldn't let the knowledge of her background and motive slow me down.
待ってたわよ、藤井君。
What up? Oh, I can already see you down there with your sword. I had to treat and break my way through her as a mortal enemy. But hey, Sakurai, has this thought never crossed your mind? That if we'd met under different circumstances, while we probably still wouldn't have gotten along as best friends, it could have been fun in its own right. I couldn't help thinking that. Oh shit, she's really just starting already. I blocked Sakurai's slash, freezing all of my silly sentiments to ice. I couldn't be beaten here if I was to accomplish my goal. Yes! Yes! Thank you! Wilhelm Ehrenberg's eyes narrowed as he sensed the aftershock of the clash in the chapel. He'd kept the demonic aura cladding his body preserved a dangerous threshold, but he wasn't doing anything. He appeared almost unsettlingly calm. Shiro was quick to point it out.
おい、どうしたよ。やる気ねえのか、注意殿。
いや、何、ちっとばかり考え事をな。
I'm just thinking about all the times we got cock-blocked. Boy, I've been waiting for this. He considered Shiro with his crimson eyes, and his gaze shifted to the young man's side.
そっちの女、お前もやんのかい？
私は見物人。どうぞ。気にしないでいいから好きに始めちゃって。
Yet another commendable woman. She knew the score, that's for sure.
別にいいがよ。戦ってる俺のそばにいるやつは例外なくするぞ。俺はそういうもんだ。
Well, I mean, at least you could take me out to dinner first. Not that way, you damn... You know what? Fuck it.
だから頑張ってよシロ。
Ella gave Shiro a light tap on the shoulder. The men couldn't stifle wry smiles at the bizarre display.
とまあそういうわけだ。面白い女だろ。
ああ、なかなか見ねえ人種だな。
I don't give a shit, Disgaea! Why are you telling me this? Go away! Damn it! I got freaking interrupted by Disgaea. What the hell? In other words, they lived and died together. Either way, they trusted each other very much. Or there was something else curious going on between them. Wilhelm made a broad smile.
いい魂だ。安心しろやお嬢ちゃん。お前もきっちり吸ってやる。で、てめえとはこれで都合3回目いや4回目か。
I know.
ちったマシになったかよ。
I've been waiting for this.
数日そこらで都合よくレベルアップなんかするかよ。俺は人間だぜ。まあでも全く手がねえってわけでもないけどな。
そうかい。
Oh. Wilhelm's bloodlust exploded into with those words.
じゃあ始めようか。
Stakes pierced his skin, sprouting all over his body. The stench of blood filled the air, turning it viscous. Shiro had already realized those things were claws of the bastard's own blood. The very blood that mixed and fused inside the vampire's body was Kaziklu Bey's Ananerve. Shiro didn't know if, honest-to-God, vampires really existed in this world, but what he was looking at was most certainly the epitome of one. A demon polluted by cursed blood to its very soul. The bloodsucker of the night.
いいぜ、何でもやってみろ。俺を殺せる相手じゃねえと鼻から勝負が成立しねえ。牙もねえ虫けら100万潰したところで何も面白がねえんだよ。だがな、勘違いはすんなよ、ガキ。
The stakes began to creak, as though the victims of those bloody fangs were wailing.
てめえをひなり殺したところでこの第7は開かねえ。所詮こんなもんは前座なんだ。レオンもあのガキもクリストフもまとめて始末してやるよ。残るのは俺だけだ。
Well, at least you're confident.
なんだ神父もかよ。
It was somewhat of an unexpected remark, but Shiro honestly wasn't all that surprised. He wouldn't put it past this man.
ちょろちょろと影で動き回るだけが脳の逃げ出し野郎が舐めすぎなんだよ。あいつはハイドリ秘境に喧嘩売ってやがる。許せねえよな。ああ、許せねえ。増年金との片割れだ。城を飛ばしたのはイザークだぜ。あいつの血以外は信用できねえ。
Name Isak again.
ちね
He'd said the most peculiar thing. This man had quite the obsession with blood.
てかお前よ。そんな性格でボスには絶対服従かよ。
お前はあの人を知らねえのさ。
Wilhelm retaliated against Shiro's teasing with an all too quiet snort.
俺はあの人にしか負けたことがねえ。あの人だけが俺にとっちゃ絶対だ。わかるかよ。魂シュピーネ、バビロン、マレウス、クリストフ。あいつもこいつもみっともねえ腰抜けどもが。そんなに怖えかよ、あの人。恐ろしいかよ、食われんのが。バカ。ビビるのが60年遅えんだよ。そんなもんは初めてあの人に会った時、俺はとっくに覚悟を決めたぜ。
You know what? That's a battle that I would kind of want to see. You know, Kaziklu Bey versus Reinhardt. That would be an interesting fight.
シュライバーもザミエルもマキナはちっとばかり事情が違うが、連中も俺と同じだ。今さらなんも怖かねえ。
So what you're saying is you're kind of close to the top 3. All they had was fanatic loyalty. They revered their power and gold that bestowed it upon them. If there was one thing they feared, it was him deeming them unnecessary.
そうだよ。俺は忠誠を誓ってんだぜ。
Wilhelm looked up to the sky as though he expected something to fall from it.
なのになんでだろうな。なんで俺は城に連れてかれなかったんだ。何か足りねえのかよ。足りねえのならそらなんだよ。いつもそうだ。欲しいものは一つもこの手に入らねえ。何が悪い？直すとしたらそれどこだ？
He just kept on talking to himself. Seeing a man so intoxicated with his love for violence quietly grumbling about his little dissatisfactions was positively an unnerving sight.
俺の血は畜生だ。
He said so in a detached voice.
英雄の器じゃねえ。
The demon's pallid face fell completely expressionless.
つまりそういうことなんだろうって思うしかねえよな。
His eyes poised upwards, filled with the light of crazed passion. Ellie and Shiro simultaneously leaped to the side. His scream exploded like a bomb.
だったらこの血をよ絞り出して交換するしかねえだろうが。
Oh boy! The storm of flying stakes fell on the spot where the two had been standing, turning it into a needle bed. Shiro dodged barely, rolling as he fired at Wilhelm, but...
効かねえよ。
Wilhelm was shot right in the forehead, but he didn't even flinch. His bloodshot eyes glared at Shiro, giving off an ominous light that sent a freezing chill to the young man's body.
てなわけでよ、あまりじゃれてるわけにもいかねえんだ。俺には後が残ってる。てめえと遊ぶのも楽しいが、まあ悪く思うなよ。時間制限かけさせてもらうんだぜ。
Don't worry. I get it. I get it. Don't worry about it. I understand. What he meant was... Ellie failed to properly dodge the last attack, and of course a normal person in her place would have died before they'd known what hit them.
抜けねえよ。そしてそれは治らねえ。俺がくたばりでもしねえ限りな。
With her thigh pierced, Ellie was as good as nailed to the ground. The blood, her very life, poured forth from the wound as though drained by the night.
悲鳴の一つもあげねえか。根性座った女は好きだぜ。ほら、どうするよ、色男。俺の体から切り離した以上、威力は下がるが、持ってせいぜい数分だ。あれが骨になるまで見物するかい。どうすんだよ。
Shiro didn't attempt to say anything. He just glanced at Ellie, making eye contact with her. Don't worry, I'm not. Just watch and see. Yeah, I trust you. Their thoughts were in complete sync, allowing them to communicate with eyes alone. There was no need for Shiro to lose his cool. He just looked back to Wilhelm and spoke.
一つ断っとくぜ。
He aimed his gun at the vampire and continued in an annoyed tone of voice.
俺がここに来たのはてめえのくだらねえ愚痴聞くためじゃねえんだ。
ああ、お友達を助けに来たんだろ。
それも違う。
Ah, I'm just here to kill ya. A gunshot. The bullet hit Wilhelm straight in the forehead, just like the last one, but as expected, it didn't have any effect on him.
思い通りにならねえからだ。
わけがわからねえな。
The stake shook and creaked, as if the resistance of the little bug was amusing them.
俺の思い通りになるのがそんなにつまらねえか。
てめえにはねえんだな。
Huh? Wilhelm hadn't realized it, neither the meaning of Shiro's words nor the action he took. When he'd made eye contact with Ellie, Shiro had swapped magazines. He'd paid very close attention to make sure Wilhelm didn't notice. Then, there was that last shot he'd fired. That was the bullet that had remained in the chamber. Anyone with a passing knowledge of guns would have known that, but Wilhelm, who'd failed to notice the swapping of the magazines, didn't even suspect Shiro's gun was packing a completely different type of ammo now. That said, the whole thing required one more push to maximize its effect. The plan was only about 30-40% complete. Beyond this point lied the hardest part. To make Wilhelm take things seriously and turn into a real vampire, Shiro had to survive until then somehow. When he thought about it logically, it was reckless beyond belief. And yet, was this karma? Shiro couldn't help but feel a sense of exasperation.
俺はよ
The sense of deja vu flashing through his brain let him know what was going to happen. And so he cursed with a look of disgust on his face.
俺の思い通りになってんのがムカついてんだよ
At that moment,
面白いこと抜かすじゃねえかよ
oh boy! Wilhelm closed the distance between himself and Shiro in the blink of an eye, elbowing the young man in the stomach. He then threw Shiro all the way up to the roof of the church, who barely managed to cling to his consciousness at the impact. Yet if anything, this proved to be good luck for the young man. And suddenly on the roof,
バカが痛くねえんだよ
it was just a punch. The bastard may have ruptured some of his internal organs, but Shiro felt no pain from anything sort of a direct hit from an Irae. He couldn't help getting choked up over his labored breathing, but it wasn't damage that kept him from fighting.
おお忘れてたぜじゃあこれはどうだ
Oh boy! Wilhelm launched a stake over 10 meters long, not to impale, but to... Wilhelm swung the stake like a baseball bat, smashing Shiro in the flank. The young man's ribs broke and blood gushed out from his mouth. He couldn't nullify this pain. Also, that's a hell of a sight.
もろいなせめて時間いっぱいぐらいはあがけよガキあまりが
はめえよ
Huh? His whole body exploded in pain from that one strike. Just breathing hurt his lungs. Just standing hurt his spine. And even the slightest movement made his waist feel like it was going to shatter into pieces. But even so, Shiro could tell that he was still capable of moving.
ああ何がだ
がっかりっていうのはなこんな程度じゃねえんだよ
Oh my god! I'm just marveling at the frickin' Shiro has the biggest balls. The demon laughed with delight. He looked up to the skies, cackling, and as those laughs echoed through the air,
そうかよ
the demon sprouted a stake from his hand and instantly launched it at his foe's stomach. Blocking it was impossible, for it was the very embodiment of overwhelming strength. A hit that foretold the difference in their metal, the paradigm of their very existence. An impact that tore not only through Shiro's skin, but his courage too. Shiro flew up, smashing into the cross on the roof of the church. His whole body was numb, his knees were shaking. He couldn't muster even the slightest drip of strength. He was currently plastered against the cross like Jesus on the crucifix, slowly sliding down to his death. A mere human like him would squish on the pavement like a bug from a fall this high.
Shiro!
A voice from the ground woke Shiro up. He wrapped his right arm around the cross, managing to keep himself from falling.
情けねえ声上げてんじゃねえや
あんたが情けない結果してっからでしょ
Well, jeez.
女まだ喋れんのか
Holy shit, I'm actually kind of surprised you can. His crimson eyes, gleaming with joy, turned to the woman. Now that he'd formed his weapon, the once caged madness rampaged unfettered. He did not even care who his opponent was anymore.
もう 2,3 発いっとくか
Blood-sucking fangs jutted out from his chest and stomach, but before he could launch them,
おいこら
a shoe hit Wilhelm right in the face.
相手間違えんなよタコ
He'd attacked not with a gun, but with a shoe. I mean, neither would have worked anyway, meaning he must have judged the latter was more powerful. At least psychologically. The effects were immediate. There was no greater suicidal act. The demon wasn't mad. Rather, he was happy, and he was much more terrifying as he was so.
いいないいぜお前できりゃ俺が人間だった時に会いたかった野郎だぜちょうど今のてめえくらいの年の頃だハイドリ秘境にぶちのめされるまで俺はクソ貧民窟のグレンだったよ
Interesting. They weren't so different.
ほらその目だわかるんだよ足りねえってないつも飢えてる乾いてる 周りがアホに見えるだろ。弱すぎてつまんねえだろ。ちょいと遊んでやっただけでよ、どいつもこいつも壊れんだよ、あっけなく。じゃあ何か手加減してやれってか。冗談抜かせや。虫けら気にして歩いてるやつがどこにいる。
Gonta, but he's not a dumbass. What he sought was someone who saw things the way he did. What he wanted was another being who could withstand his play.
それでお前も踏み潰されたってか。笑えねえな。
ああ、笑えたぜ。
Wilhelm paid no heed to Shiro's sarcasm. He spread his arms and spoke as though he was singing.
俺が最強だと思ってたんだぜ。
All the members of the Obsidian table had been like that, and they had all reacted in different ways when Reinhardt had proven them sorely wrong. Some succumbed to fear, others chose the path of subservience. Some venerated their subjugator, while others cursed and despised him. They didn't just wag their tails. They realized they would find what they had sought for all their lives under his command, things far beyond the comprehension of common lowlives. So they followed, so they killed. They wanted to become a pot of gold as his blood-stained fangs and claws. If they did...
そうすればよ、俺のクソくだらねえ業ってやつも消えるかもって思ったんだ。
If his blood was dirty, then all he had to do was squeeze it out and replace it. By bathing in and drinking the blood of thousands and thousands, he would absorb it and be reborn.
俺は昔から欲しいと思ったもんが手に入らねえんだ。
Lady Luck was not on his side. Thrilling battles to the death. A woman he admired so much he wished to devour them. A master he revered so much he wanted to be devoured by them. All of those rare encounters as they may have been had slipped out of Wilhelm Ehrenberg's grasp at every turn. Sometimes things got in his way. Other times the objects of his desires fled from him. And even more times they didn't look his way. He had been plagued by 90 years of defeats and failures.
てめえもそうだろ。
Wilhelm said that in a kind voice. He didn't know what Shiro sought, but he could feel he too was chasing after that which he couldn't obtain, dancing to a rhapsody of destruction. He was a martyr who walked down a road filled with suicide, self-mutilation, and self-destruction. He didn't need his life so long as he could obtain the satisfaction he craved. That went for charging into the golden chaos and challenging the war demons of the Obsidian Round Table. They were exactly the same. They loved the hurtful tips of the thorn in the way no one else could understand.
だからよ、おめえなら俺を満足させてくれるんじゃねえか。
Shiro filled his legs and arms with strength, and after confirming that he was still capable of moving, he spoke.
一緒にするなよ、白助。
Jesus! Bloody laughter filled the night sky. The moon twisted and gained crimson color. Shiro realized that was it. He was coming, just like at the school. The vampire was about to bear his true nature.
そうかい。じゃあ死ね。
Hasadamo kande shinjaiba? With Shiro still hanging on the cross, Wilhelm got in close enough to reach him. He dug his fingernails into Shiro's shoulder. Was he planning on bringing it out in this pose? The night echoed with the creaking of flesh and bone and metal as the pair's surroundings distorted. For the night would be his chief domain. He would purge the taint and be born anew. Wither to ashes, oh my dearest love. And at that moment, two layers of night superimposed upon each other. The Rosenkavalier Schwarzwald, the rose bearer in the forest of death. Uh-oh. Sakurai and I both noticed the sudden change and jumped back. I felt brutal fatigue and lethargy seize my whole body. The sensation of my stamina being sapped was undoubtedly the same thing I'd experienced back at school. No, this was even more powerful. By overlapping night with night, Wilhelm's creation figment was more dangerous than before.
Shiro.
Wondered if he'd be okay. Though he clearly hadn't kicked the bucket yet, this force exhaustion was not something a mere human should be able to handle.
他人の心配余裕ね。
お前が余裕なさすぎるだけだ。
Though I was giving her back talk, my impatience was swelling up. Realistically speaking, I couldn't go to Shiro's aid with Sakurai in my way. And if Shiro lost, I knew that I would be no match for the tag team of her and Wilhelm. Especially not with my stamina draining by the second. I would definitely lose, no questions asked. The silver lining was that Wilhelm's Beria was draining Sakurai too. I had to settle the duel quickly so I would be in a position to take countermeasures whether Shiro won or lost.
もたもたしてる時間はないな。
I would put a swift end to this battle with Sakurai. I determined that was my only choice after considering the possible turn of events. However,
どうか
Sakurai said so in a subdued voice.
私も今いいことを思いついた。
The next moment, she set our surroundings on fire. Uh-oh. It wasn't part of any attack. She just scattered the fire that clad her sword to set the nearby pews and carpets on fire. I had no idea what she was up to. Though she had set the chapel on fire, any blaze she started on her own was just that, an ordinary fire. It didn't pose much of a threat at all. She'd forgotten how the game worked. Only an Ananerabe could defeat an Ananerabe wielder.
わからない
Yet Sakurai smirked as if her victory was set in stone. What in the world was she? At that very moment, I felt like I'd come down with a terrible hangover. I felt dizzy, on the verge of falling to my knees. She couldn't have.
苦しいでしょう
Not trouble. I couldn't breathe. My body was going numb.
ここは密室だから聞くのが早いのよね
Oh dear. I understood. I could perceive just how dangerous the situation was. This was simple oxygen deprivation. The fires consumed all the oxygen around them, preventing me from breathing. The chapel was a sealed room made of stone. I started suffocating in no time flat. But how? How is it that Sakurai looked so calm? She should have been under the same circumstances as me. Oh my god, is this her creation figment?
原則を忘れないで生物を持つ者は生物でしか倒せない
Or is she just completely immune to her own flames?
私たちは毒ガスを吸っても死なないし無酸素で窒息するようなこともないだけど苦しいことは苦しい心臓は不随意筋自分の意志でコントロールできないし血中酸素がなくなれば活動に支障をきたす
Oh. That explained why I hadn't suffocated to death yet, but not why Sakurai seemed perfectly fine.
私を誰だと思っているの黒煙卓第5位レオンハルト・アウグスト獅子は炎のエレメント火の中で戦えないようでそんな名前は名乗れない
I figured.
無酸素での戦いくらいとっくに体得してるわよ
Well, shit!
でもあなたはまだみたいねやっと優越感が持てた
Sakurai lunged forward and swung, but I managed to jump back and dodge in time. But my throat was burning like hell. I couldn't fight like this.
行かせない
Oh, fuck! Sakurai predicted that I tried to break down the door. I blocked her diagonal slash, but it sent me flying away from the exit. The door was made of thick oak. It probably wouldn't burn down so easily. My path of retreat had essentially been cut off. I wonder how Tarifa's doing down in the basement. Oh, is that fire I sense? I think somebody's having some s'mores. Actually hungry. Are you ladies hungry? I'll go make us some s'mores. And he just kind of just walks up in here like, hey Sakurai, do you mind? What the fuck? First there was Wilhelm's dual-layered knight, then Sakurai threw in this cyanosis. With the cards completely against me, I couldn't manifest my full power. Sakurai watched me struggle with emotionless eyes.
こうやってみたらあなた普通の人なのに。
Her face and voice were the epitome of flat and dull.
こんな策とも言えないような手で簡単に追い詰められるなんて。
I'm still learning, damn it! No light dwelled in her dark eyes.
ベイもマレウスも他の誰でもこれくらいで膝ついたりはしないわよ。彼らは戦火を吸って生きている。もう酸素なんか必要としてない。
She was whispering to herself.
弱いね藤井君。日常の光がないと立てもしないなんて弱い。
Why did it sound like she was pitying me?
大したことないよ。劣等じゃない。
But seriously? My God, Wilhelm's been rubbing off on you. She talked crap about me, sounding like she was about to cry.
許してんじゃねえ。
I stood up with a roar and slashed at her. Sakurai failed to block and was knocked to the other side of the room, mowing down burning pews in the process.
気色悪いんだよ。
Quit spouting off cliched lines while looking at me like a dead fish. Her problems were her own. I could sympathize, but I couldn't condone her actions. She would massacre innocents in exchange for her miracle. Everyone in the city, including Kasumi, would be slaughtered as sacrifices if she had her way. I couldn't allow for such utterly unbalanced scales to exist. Especially not when I was shoved on them myself.
立てよ。
Couldn't breathe. My body was numb. I knew the situation was getting more and more hopeless.
俺が嫌いなんだろ。俺もお前がムカつくよ。
Yep. But I had no intention of playing along with her sob story. Stop trying to get me wrapped up in your own little scenario. I live in my own genre.
喧嘩なら買ってやる。らしくぶち切れた恋よ桜井。お前の涙なんか気持ち悪い。
Sakurai staggered to her feet, staring at me with dull eyes. Then she opened her mouth.
かっこいいよね藤井君。いつもいつも言ってることが強いよね。信じてるよね自分の力を。
No, that wasn't it. Even I hesitated from time to time, and I'd already let many people die before my eyes. If I really was so great, I probably wouldn't have been stuck in this totally fucked up situation. I was well aware of my own powerlessness. It was why I struggled to my own limits, so that I could protect those who still be saved. Those who I couldn't afford to lose.
失ってないからわからないのよ。
Yet she had deemed me as blissfully ignorant, implying I didn't understand shit.
もう兄さんはいなくなってしまった。
Tubal came, that corpse of a soldier, her brother, whose death opened the sixth swastika. Their family had been tied to the Obsidian Round Table by creating a replica of the Holy Lands. It was already too late to save them.
スワスチカに取り込まれたらそれはハイドリヒ教への生贄になる。返してくれるとは思えない。わからないけど思いたいけどもしかしたらまだ大丈夫ってそんな風に希望を持ちたいけど怖いよ。
Sakurai shivered. She held her head as though terrified, as though she was trying to erase the remnants of gold from her memory.
あの人怖いよ。
She couldn't do it. Reinhard Heydrich's curse gripped her soul.
何よあれ何なのよ。何人いるのよ。桁が違いすぎるよ。10万100万それ以上あんな人が出てきたら人全部飲み込まれちゃう。誰一人だって残らない。私は帰りたかったのにまた昔みたいなぬくもりが欲しかったのに。血の色は嫌い。火なんか見たくない。
Kinda cruel that you can use fire then, isn't it?
黄金の空はだけど戦争の色に染まっちゃう。そんな気がする。 気がするのよ。怖いよ。
だったら
What the hell are you doing here?
なんでお前はあいつが戻ってくる手助けを未だにバカ面下げてやってんだよ。
If you're worried, if you're scared, if you fear the golden blessing, then
そこ通せ桜井、尻目つってんじゃねえ。
yeah, you're kind of all around confusing at this point. I mean, for God's sake.
だって
Sakurai looked at me with fear in her eyes.
そんなことしたら私は裏切り者になってしまう。アイドリ秘境にいらないって言われちゃう。
You're literally contradicting yourself again.
あの人の怒りを買う。敵じゃなくても部下じゃなくなってしまう。そんなの嫌だ。嫌だ、怖いよ。私はバラバラになってしまう。耐えられない。
Then we stop him from being summoned. Was that what they called the devil's charisma? One look at Reinhardt had brought Sakurai under his spell. The other members of the Obsidian Table had likely been baptized in the same way. Those like Spine, who spent 60 years churning with fear. Those like Wilhelm and Rusalka, who had either overcome or grown numb to it.
メフィストフェレス。
The devil who granted Faust's wish in exchange for his soul.
ねえ、なんで平気なのよ。どうしてあれを見て戦おうとか思えるのよ。頭おかしいんじゃないの？普通じゃないよ。
Bitch, I am the main character. I don't give a fuck. Her trembling voice was mixed with exasperation and discomfort. Her eyes looked at me like a complete nut. A mass murderer like Sakurai of all people was calling me mad.
頭悪いのもいい加減にしろって言ったじゃない。
She told me that back when I saved her.
いつまでヒーローを気取ってるのよ。正気じゃないよ。
I didn't want to hear that from someone playing the tragic heroine.
なんで逃げないのよ。
何度も言わせるな。
I'd catch her cowardice if I kept playing along with this idle chatter.
取り落とさないためだ。
The more something is dearer to you, the more impossible it is to get it back.
言ったろ。俺は生きてる奴のことを考える。奪われてたまるか。
I didn't want to get anything back.
奪わせない。落とさせない。そして何より壊させない。ラインハルトは怖いさ。
I didn't want to fight him either.
だからあいつを出てこさせない。二度と顔を見ないで済むようにここでスワスチカは打ち止めだ。大物気取ってふんぞり返ってたことを絶対後悔させてやる。
I didn't know where he was, but he could stay and play with himself there. That was the kind of victory I could envision.
人を変人みたいに言うなよ桜井。お前の方がよっぽど色々ダメだろ。もう一度言うぞ。ビビってるんならそこどけよ。邪魔するな。俺はその先にいようが。
As I spoke, I felt the lack of oxygen reach critical level. Either way, there was no time left.
私がつまらないやつなのは知ってる。
But Sakurai did not move, as if saying she'd been bound to the obsidian table no matter where she went.
あなたに言わせれば落としてしまった人間だから。ええ、別に藤井君が間違ってないことも分かってるよ。本当だけどさ、私いっぱい殺してきたんだもん。
Bitch, so do I! Sakurai's sword flared up again. The flames ignored the lack of oxygen in the room, defying physics as they wrapped around the sword.
相手は選んだよ。世界中を回ったし、日本じゃ考えられないような圧政、貧困、不正、虐待、鬼畜みたいな奴らばっかり殺してきた。子供を並べて射撃の的にしているような奴らとかをね。たまに感謝もされたし、大体怖がられたけど、私は私なりの信念を持って11年走った。それは嘘じゃないし軽くない。全力疾走だったから、ずっと昔に置いてきた分岐路になんかもう戻れない。私にこびりついてる返り血が重くて引き返すことはできない。
In other words, she was saying she didn't feel like changing her stance at this point. Her words were but a mere confirmation she was too far gone.
私はバカなの。
Yeah, I knew that. Maddeningly so.
ハイドリ秘境は怖い。第8が開いたら何が起きるか。怖くてたまらない。だけどそれと同じくらいに私の逆恨みが消えないの。藤井君は悪くない。藤井君は悪くない。バカは私、愚かなのは私。分かってるのよ。分かってるけど、だからごめんなさい、悪かったわって今さら言えるわけないでしょ。
Yeah, you can. Easy peasy. Done.
あなたがいなければよかった。
Well, that's just me. Her confused and directionless hatred took the form of flames erupting like a volcano.
あなたがいるからいけないのよ。
Eh? Who was really responsible for all this?
なんであなたなんかがいるのよ。私たちとあなたをぶつけて遊んでるカール・クラフトが憎い。私たちの人生すべてを手のひらで踊らせてるメルクリウスが許せない。
So you're just going to go follow his plan?
だからもうあなたに転嫁するしかないじゃない。
That's just rude.
だってあなたは。
At that moment, Sakurai kicked off the floor with a cry.
あなたは彼の代わりなんだもん。
Oh! She swung down from above with all her might. It was a damn miracle I managed to block it. Though we were both being drained by the night of blood-stained roses without any oxygen, I was the one on the verge of passing out. I can only keep bluffing for so long.
死んでよ。ねえ、お願い。死んでよ。
Her scarlet blade pushed my guard to its utmost limits. Normally I would beat her in terms of sheer strength in a sword lock, but at this rate I'd end up cleaved in two. I couldn't keep up my defense much longer.
それができないなら殺してよ。ねえ、殺してみせてよ。あなた強いんでしょ。ヒーローなんでしょ。もう嫌なのよ。冗談じゃないのよ。早く終わって。お願いだから。私はもう1秒だってこんなものに触ってたくない。
Christ! I fell to my knees. The last bits of my strength left me.
弱いよ、藤井君。
There was no time to be humiliated. The truth of it all was that the situation was getting worse by the second.
この教会にいる中で私が一番弱いのに、そんなざまでベイとゲイカの相手なんかできるわけないよ。私が勝ったらハイドリ秘境が出てくるのよ。私は怖いからそれを止めようなんて考えられない。ねえ、いいの本当に終わっちゃうよ。ハイドリ秘境と大隊長3人誰も残してくれないよ。この世界終わっちゃうよ。きっと絶対 DS 入れが始まっちゃうんだから。
Ah! She said the thing! She said the title! She was right. If I lost, everything was over. It was no joke or exaggeration to imagine a monster like Reinhard Heydrich was more than capable of that. I had to win. If I didn't, we were all dead. But damn it, what was I supposed to do?
早くしてよ。
Sakurai had already devolved into a rambling wreck at this point, but she was still going at me with full force, and I couldn't fight back in this state.
嘘つき。
Sakurai said so in a low voice.
藤井君の嘘つき。壊させないって言ったのに。私を助けてくれないならいいよ、もういいから。
She mustered even more strength and
全部終わっちゃえ。
Sakurai brought out her trump card.
彼そのカムサリ玉石イザナミは
The goddess Izanami, her light forever extinguished. I knew it. I knew what this was.
出雲の国と母木の国、その境なるヒバの山に納め祭りき。
Sleeps her final rest beneath Mount Hiba amidst Izumo and Hoki. Neighbor lands standing vigil. It was just like Rusalka's Natsira and Wilhelm's Knight of Bloodstained Roses. An ultimate killing technique possessed by members of the Obsidian Round Table. A creation figment.
ここにイザナギの御事、見吐かせる戸塚の剣を抜きて、その子家具土の首を切り玉引き。
On its burial grounds, Lord Izanagi stood, his ten grasps steel drawn as Kagutsuchi's head fell to dust beneath the Kingslayer's blade. If she released it, it was all over. I couldn't let her do that. I didn't know what kind of creation figment she had, but it would literally spell death for me in this state. I would lose. So my only option would be to master and unleash my own Beria right here and now. But did I have enough time?
そうそう。
But then, just a split second before the scales of life and death were about to turn against me, it happened. The Beria degree was about creating your own rules. Born from the most powerful wish carved into the medium's soul, they bound and changed the world, giving birth to an alternate reality. His dream was to become a vampire. A bloodsucker of the night. He was born a cursed child who shone with the sun.
夜が永遠に明けなければ。
He wished to become a demon that reigned supreme in the dark of night.
それがてめえの
俺の世界だ。
At that exact moment, gouging dejection coupled with unbearable exhaustion trampled down Shiro's whole body. His blood, essence, soul, and everything else he needed to live was being sucked dry. The church's roof dried up instantly and cracked. The nearby trees wilted. The only vitality filling the bloody darkness around them was Wilhelm's hearty laughter.
金の骨まで抱いてやるぜ。一緒に行こうや。
If I can be perfectly honest, it kind of sounded like Viral from Gurren Lagann right there.
てめえの欲しいもんは見えたか。見えねえか。ほら、目ん玉しぼんできたぜ。気合い入れろ。俺の夜は破れねえ。愛の秘境と一つになって世界丸ごと枯れさせてやる。てめえも俺らと城で遊ぼうや。
Shiro, if you've got a trump card, use it! His draining powers were far beyond what he displayed at the school. Adding one layer of night into another had boosted his abilities. He looked down at the stone paving below to see her lying there, completely motionless. Whether she was dead or not, time was not on their side. This wasn't good. Not at all. It was fortunate that there wasn't much distance between him and Wilhelm, but Shiro couldn't move an inch, being nailed to the cross. Shiro resolved himself and tore off his mummifying arm. Oh. He was in luck with how brittle it had gotten. Half of the skin on his right shoulder broke off like sugary cubes. He wouldn't have been able to use that arm anyway. He kicked it off the ground, intending to tear the rest off and throw it away. The recoil of the kick caused him to spin to the other side of the cross.
なんだあいつれねえな。逃げ回んなよ。傷つくだろ。
It felt like even the air between the two was going to burst out screaming at any moment. The Knight of Bloodstained Roses was greedily sucking away the vibrancy of very existence. Thirst and starvation, an insatiable lust. Strip Wilhelm down to his core, and that was all he was about.
吸血鬼が教会で生きがってんじゃねえよ。
Shiro was in the worst possible position possible, but it was also his big chance. His opponent had exposed his weak points, and now was the time for Shiro to exploit them. However,
悪いけどな、ガキ。お前見えすいてんだわ。
Wilhelm casually snapped his fingers at that precise moment. Dozens of stakes suddenly sprouted out of thin air all around Shiro and pierced him in an instant, turning him into a human pincushion.
ここは俺の国なんだぜ。言ってみりゃ腹ん中だ。
Fuck! While he could only sprout stakes from his body when in Yetzida, Beria was a different story. For the space around them itself was the manifestation of Vampire's night.
距離は意味ねえ、視覚もねえ。俺の視界に入りゃ終わりだが、そこから逃げることもできねえよ。
Shit!
全部お見通しだ。さっきからてめえが狙ってることもよ。
Shiro kept on holding onto his gun, feeling like a harpooned shark. Wilhelm knew all too well what his plan was.
さっき断層変えたろ。俺が気づいてねえとでも思ってたのか。
Shit! Was that a cry of rage or despair? Either way, Shiro's secret strategy had been busted. He was positive Wilhelm hadn't seen him, so where had he learned of that fact?
おっと、そして空気の流れ。あとはてめえの持ち方だ。重さが変わってんのぐらい一目でわかる。
That's some crazy ass skill.
勝負ありだな。経験の差だ。言っとくが、こりゃ特別なことじゃねえんだぜ。戦争やってりゃ誰でもそれくらいには敏感になる。まあ、察するところ銀だろ。
Shiro was skewered and drained. A hoarse, shaky voice emerged from his throat, possibly a death throat.
チェックしてたのかよ。臆病な野郎だ。
Wilhelm let out a dismissive snort.
まあ、教師見にしちゃつまんねえな、おい。
His insight, no, vigilance was a better way to put it, was not to be trifled with.
美学といえ。
That was what it meant to be a blood-sucking demon. They honed their strength to the max, precisely because they possessed tons of weak points.
デイウォーカーだのなんだのとエセ野郎どもがこねくり返したまがいもんじゃねえ。俺は本物だ。この世界でただ一人の真相だ。一緒にするなよ。てめえらが都合よく妄想したフィルムのハッタリなんぞとよ。
I guess so, Jesus.
不死者は死なねえ。夜の俺は殺せねえ。それはつまり死なねえ術に長けてるっていうことだ。
That was also what it meant to be a soldier, to kill your opponents and survive. Being an expert at that skill was an absolute condition to being a war demon of the Obsidian Table. The ones that ultimately fell were half-assed and unqualified weaklings. Not like him. He'd keep on living regardless of the odds. A dark phoenix who existed eternally in this night, in this world. He would prove that fact and ascend to the Golden Castle for sure this time.
じゃあよ。そういうわけで別れだ。
The stakes pulsed and expanded. Wilhelm could probably make Shiro's shriveled body burst into pieces with but a single thought. But a split moment before he could do so.
てめえの理屈には何も共感できねえが。
Shiro had been fatally wounded and stood at death's door, yet there was a smile on his lips.
一つだけわかることがある。
Limbs cracking apart, hair crumbling like sand. Yet he regarded the Rose Knight with fearless eyes, as if to tell Wilhelm that he was the one who had died tonight.
敵とまともに戦おうとしねえこんなもんが英雄の条件なわけねえだろ。
He'd been robbed of his essence. His body was as withered as a parched tree. That was the result of his opponent's weakening power. Those brutal acts were far removed from the fair and square tenets of chivalry.
てめえが城とやらに上がれねえのは。
It had nothing to do with how fucked up his bloodline was.
単にてめえが道ってやつを知らねえ畜生だからだ。
Those words struck deeper into Wilhelm's chest than anything else.
黙れよ。
He couldn't even rage.
抜かすんじゃね
He knew he was strong. No one other than Gold could beat him.
え。てめえは死ぬんだ。
He would win. And then he would finally ascend to that castle.
てめえら吸い殺して、俺はあの人の牙になるんだ。
Holy shit, look at that! A demonic rose sprouted in the darkness with a deafening bellow. Wilhelm's whole body turned into stakes, all pointing towards Shiro.
なあエリー、やっ 歩がいい女だわ。
Faced with the berserk Kaziklu Bay, Shiro instead turned to the girl below and smiled. Back when he'd broken into the school with Ren, Shiro had sent Ellie on an absolutely vital errand. She went to go pick up an item in his place. And that item was about to prove useful in the 11th hour.
ここでやり合うことにしたてめえがアホだ。
A hand grenade slipped out of his pocket, the pin already removed. It rolled to the space between him and Wilhelm just before the explosion. The grenade detonated into flames and shrapnel. In addition to silver, heat was another weakness of vampires. However, no matter how hard Shiro tried to play his weak points, Wilhelm couldn't be taken down with firepower alone. He broke through the flames, slowly approaching the battered Shiro. That sealed his fate.
理科実験程度のネタだぜ。
Sucked dry by the night of blood-stained roses, the church's roof had reached its limit. It couldn't withstand a grenade explosion in this state. Thus, a giant hole opened directly where Wilhelm took a step. And who else should be down there in the chapel if not... Oh, Kay hadn't seen it coming at all. Ren even less so. The sealed chapel they were fighting in literally erupted into the sky. Kay's on an airbay breathed fire. The ensuing sword fight had set everything aflame. The pews and wall ornaments had already completely burned down, and this room that was now filled to the brim with combustible carbon monoxide had suddenly been connected to the outside. So, what would naturally follow next?
いわゆるバックドラフトってな。
A phenomena where a sudden influx of oxygen causes fire to reanimate and explode. Of course, no matter how large it was, mere fire could not fatally wound Ren or Kay. However... But he was an exception. Fire was among Vampire's greatest weaknesses. Swallowed up by the explosive burst of flames below him, Wilhelm suffered nearly fatal damage in but a single second. But he nonetheless approached Shiro with fierce tenacity. Though the majority of his body had been reduced to cinders, Wilhelm's bloodlust was as fierce as ever. Once more, there was no doubt that the explosion had wounded Shiro far worse than Wilhelm. Though he'd avoided a direct hit, he was still made of flesh and blood. Shiro had taken about 60% of the damage, while Wilhelm took 40%. He had to quickly finish the demon off, or that was it. He forced his crumbling left hand to rise, firing a silver bullet for a killing blow. He dodged the bullet, yet didn't. It both missed him and it didn't at the same time. The bullet had been aimed for his head, but thanks to the gun's weight, Shiro's aim was off. However, it still held Wilhelm right in the chest, though he managed to deflate his muscles before it reached his heart. It was nigh unbelievable how tenacious and bad at giving up those two were. On that aspect alone, they were worthy of being labeled champions. Though the two of them believed in different people, they let out identical roars, clashing fiercely. Fuck! They fell from the blazing church roof. Death would greet them seconds later. Wilhelm aside, Shiro would be beyond help once he crashed into the stone pavement. If whoever died first was to be defined as the loser, then the scales of victory were currently weighing right in Wilhelm's favor. But there was a definitive difference between the two of them.
Shiro!
One of them had a goddess of victory. Someone like Wilhelm, who had been abandoned by everything, would never have a deity smile upon him. And with that, the outcome was set. The church's cross broke and fell along with them. Shiro used it as a stake to pierce Wilhelm's heart. It went without saying, crosses were even more fatal to vampires than fire. No matter how immortal he claimed he was, he could never shrug off an attack like this. So long as he was a blood-sucking demon, the only one in the world, as he so proudly stated, he couldn't escape from the absolute principle. demons of the night could not oppose holy objects. The demon of the roses glared at Shiro just before crumbling into dust.
やるっちゃねえかよなクソが
Damn. He felt a faint sense of release amidst his agony, melting into the seventh swastika. I know, right? Suddenly, and I do mean suddenly, the ceiling above us exploded. I glimpsed the crimson full moon shining deep in the night sky through the newly opened hole when there was another explosion, much bigger and louder than before. It reached all the way to us, knocking Sakurai and me into the air. But I didn't have enough time to contemplate what had happened. My consciousness still dizzy from the aftershock, I glanced around for Sakurai. I spotted a black SS uniform at the corner of my eye, still airborne. Got her! I grabbed her sleeve and dragged her close to me.
勝負ありだ桜井
I held her to the floor, successfully rendering her powerless. She had dropped her on an airbay during the explosion. Why are you smiling? Now that I could breathe again, I felt dizzy, but I could put up with it. We were still surrounded by a sea of flames, but it seemed like that explosion had blown the chapel's roof and outer walls to smithereens. There still wasn't much oxygen for comfort, but at least there was some.
運がいいのね
Sakurai looked up at me and spoke in a quiet voice.
さすがヒーロー都合がいいよ
まあなあ
That explosion had probably been a backdraft. Once that hole in the ceiling opened up into this oxygenless room, it turned every simmering flame in the room into a damn pillar of fire. Shiro was probably the one who caused it. He was sharp, so he probably predicted that this chapel would be on fire. And the explosion of fire was undoubtedly a major weakness of the vampires. Jesus, that dumbass was a real piece of work.
友情パワーいいね私に友達なんかいない
Well, you almost had Kasumi as a friend, you dipshit.
それも含めて藤井君の強さかうん私の乾杯だよどうしたの殺して
俺は
I should kill her. I did indeed come here prepared to do exactly that, and I was still up for it just a short while ago. But
やっと終われる望んだ形じゃないけれどこれも別に悪くないよ
could I really kill someone making that face?
やっと私も兄さんたちのところに行ける
Was it really okay to kill her? Could I? Could I really live with such a deed?
藤井君ならきっと芸家にも勝てるよ私たちの代わりに彼を倒して
どういう
逆恨みよ私はいつもそう彼のせいで私の大事な人たちはいなくなったそんな風に思うようもしかしたら誘導されていたかもしれない本当のことから目をそらさせるために私はバカなの綾瀬さんよりずっと頭悪いのよ彼女みたいに強く立ち向かえる勇気なんてない現状から目をそらさず楽な方に逃げず真実の元凶に挑むいいねすごいね眩しいよ私じゃ勝てない私じゃ届かない 私は何がしたかったんだろう。本当に大事なものはなくしたら戻らないのに。
Tears welled up in Sakurai's eyes. Her voice trembled, but her tone remained clear, her speech swift.
いっぱい殺したし、いっぱい切った。殺してもいい人、死ぬべきだと思う人、価値なんかないって思った人を私は何百人も殺したよ。そんな自分でゴミだと思うようなものを集めて宝石と交換なんてありえないのに。地球とだって釣り合わないのに。好きな人たちの命を侮辱しちゃった。ごめんなさい兄さん、ベアトリス。私はバカなの。算数もわからないのよ。綾瀬さんに英語教えてって言われたけどできない。だって私の方がバカなんだもん。
だったら
I opened my mouth before I realized what I was doing.
あいつに九九でも教えてもらえよ。きっと尻尾振って喜ぶぞ。
Yeah, she probably would.
だから
What was I trying to say? Didn't really know, but my mouth just kept moving on its own.
友達いないんだろ。あんなんでよければなってもらえ。
Yeah.
あ、つまりなんていうかあれだ。
I clicked my tongue, irritated by my own lack of communication skills, and continued.
桜井圭は死んだ。
At the very least, that charmless bitch I knew wasn't here anymore. Not like I found her cute now or anything.
死んだから俺はもう行く。あとは腐るなり生き返るなり好きにしろよ。お前んちのお家芸なんだろそれ。
私、
ああ、うるさい、もう喋るな。お前の話聞いてるといつもろくなことにならない。
私はでも。
俺が勝つって思うなら信じてろ。ラインハルトなんか意地でも呼び出させねえよ。じゃあな。
I stood up with those words and suddenly remembered there was something gravely serious I had to tell her.
さっきお前を捕まえた時、思いっきり胸触っちまったけど不可抗力だからな。絶対かすみに言うなよ。約束だぞ。
God damn it! Anyway, I said what I needed, so I got up and left her behind. The chapel may have been blown apart, but I didn't know if that could be said for the rest of the church. I was also worried about Shiro's safety, though I'd sensed the seventh swastika being opened. And since the night of the bloodstained roses had also disappeared at the same time, I guessed Wilhelm had to be dead. So I had to go after Father Tarifa as soon as possible. If he got away, there'd be no stopping the opening of the gate. And as I left, I heard Sakurai crying like a newborn baby behind me. If life started with a cry, perhaps it wouldn't be too much of it to ask if to end with a smile.
思うんだけどさ、
The girl crouched down next to her partner, addressing him in a quiet voice.
前にも言ったけど、銀の弾丸って狼男じゃん。
Oh
吸血鬼
shit!
は確かに狼に変身するけど、違うよね。
There was no answer.
吸血鬼はさ、白木の杭だと思うわけよ。まあ、実際聞いちゃってるんだから、こんな話しても意味ないんだけどさ。
Ellie gave a wry smile and looked at Shiro, who had been absent-mindedly staring up into the night sky.
ま、十字架が効いたってことかもしんないね。
The usual backfire she'd come to expect to follow her insults.
一応用意はしてきてたんだよ。杭。まあ無駄になっちゃったね。
Damn. Shiro's eyes were faintly open. Ellie was about to wave her hand in front of them, but stopped herself short.
バカだな。
The spreading pool of blood reached up to her shoes.
何笑ってんのさ。
Ellie ran her fingers across her face to check her own expression.
あったじゃんこれも。あんたが相打ちになるのだってデジャブのうちだよ。
Her front bangs got into her eyes. A scent of blood filled her lungs.
全然解けないよ。勝手に退場して。あんたこれただの負け犬じゃんか。
Damn. She felt around her eyes, but the tears she expected to feel weren't there.
ひどい女。
Her mouth twisted into a faint smile. Foreknowledge painted the image of everything that had happened crystal clear in her mind.
そっか。ここのスワスチカも開いちゃったからか。
She didn't quite understand how it worked, but it seemed like her sense of deja vu had gotten stronger with the opening of each subsequent swastika.
きっとこれからずーっと面白いことなんか全然ないのかもしれないけど。
Ellie took a cigarette out of her pocket. She put it to her lips, lit it, and stuck it between Shiro's frozen smile.
いつか抜け出してやるよ。そうすれば次はもうちょっと面白くなってるでしょ。
Jeez. The smoke rose into the night sky.
なんだか
It's like the fumes of incense, isn't it? Ellie watched cigarette smoke rise with that thought in mind. She didn't feel much despair at all, just a slight sense that she'd failed. That's all. It was just the way things were for them. Though, considering the whole picture, she did learn something new today. With the opening of the 7th swastika, the sensation of foreknowledge had only grown stronger. And a certain few would most definitely be thoroughly relieved by the truth that implied. After all, one's failure was another's success.
今何か。
Wonder if I can fit this in here. Oops. Guess it would help if I spelled it correctly, wouldn't it? Let's see. There we go. You know what? You can input up to 20 characters. Ah, you suck! Wait. Wait. Damn it! Damn it, I'm trying to be cool and then it just fucking ruins it. Wait. You suck! No, fuck it. You know what? You know what? Can't have it. Can't have my way. Ha! Fuck you! Well. Damn it. Ironically, I kind of had like this sneaking suspicion in my mind that that would have been their final confrontation. Damn. Yes. I will say though that was a hell of an that was a hell of a battle right there. Even Sakurai managed to live this time, although I'm not entirely sure what that might, you know, entail. I mean, who knows? She might actually help out, possibly. And who knows? She may get herself a little happily ever after and be friends with Kasumi, maybe. Yeah, she's still got to teach her English, and she's gonna have to teach her math multiplication. Oh my god. That was insane. But dear God, the look of Shiro's body. Oh. Yeah, there was no way anybody would survive that. Not even Shiro would have survived that, but damn, he went out with a bang. Literally. Oh, that was awesome. But also sad that he's dead. But we got that little bit of information that foreknowledge seems to get stronger with each opening of a swastika. I wonder if that only applies to Shiro and Ellie, I wonder. No idea. I think it also applies to Ren, though. Anyway, that was one hell of a climactic end to their little feud. And this is still only the first route. Dear God, you guys weren't kidding when you said this novel was long. I mean, I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. I'm really, really enjoying this. Even if I do tend to get a little bit too into character while I'm reading some of the monologues. If that doesn't annoy you guys, I'll try to cut back on that a little bit. But anyway, that's pretty much it right there. So thank you all so much for watching, and damn! And I'll see you guys in the next video. Hello there everybody, Sabato92 here, and if you like this video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And hey, if you guys like my content, then maybe you'd like to check out another channel who I think deserves equal attention. So click that nightmare emblem and check out that channel, or go to the links in the description down below. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.